Writing isn't about waiting for inspiration. It's more about just showing up. The urge to write comes and goes. Your ideas, they are going to come and go. Sometimes you're going to be full of energy and inspiration, and then that energy and inspiration is going to disappear just as easily. So we have to be ready. We have to show up and be ready for when these ideas, this inspiration arrives so that we can act on them. And this video is a reminder that we have to pursue the impulse, the creative impulse, while it's alive, and to practice consistently and begin even when resistance shows up. And it's going to show up. It might show up every day for a while, and the practice will slowly dissolve our resistances. So welcome again to Devotion to Writing, a channel devoted to helping you cultivate a daily writing practice and to awaken creatively, or awaken to the creative abundance that you are. In this video, I want to talk about why daily writing really matters. I harp on this all the time because I understand that the hardest thing about writing isn't writing our stories, because we live with our stories. We can tell them. In fact, we'll tell them to people in line at the grocery store. We tell them to our friends over dinner. But there's something that happens when we want to tell that story to the page, to even if we have a larger audience in mind. It becomes very difficult to translate that story to the page for some reason. And so I think part of what we have to overcome is just that resistance to even beginning to tell our stories on the page, or our imaginations to the page, our poems to the page, our experiences to the page. That somehow the inertia of not writing keeps us stuck, and that we need to just overcome it with a little writing momentum. So writing, I really believe you should be devoted to it, that you should practice it consistently, daily, if possible, preferably. Because, as I mentioned, the desire to write, this energy, these ideas, they don't last. They arrive. And if you don't pursue it, if you don't pursue, say, writing your story, it disappears eventually. The energy of it wanes and it is gone. So pursue it. And even if you're not feeling inspired by anything, and if you don't have a story that is active in you, something that you're carrying around that is burning to be written, still come to the page. You don't have to be inspired to write. You don't have to be inspired to show up at the page. You do have to show up, and you do have to write. This practice of writing will call in other words, other stories, and even inspiration. So develop a taste for writing. You need to be deliberate and be sustained in your effort. And that is a practice. That is the practice. And at the same time, I should say, when we write, when we are practicing writing, we are practicing how to write. That is, how to tell a story, how to write a good sentence, how to, write rich details, descriptions. And also we are practicing sitting with ourselves, being alone, accessing our memories, our experiences, our imaginations. We are practicing being present with our creativity. So I'll just say again, even if you don't feel like writing, especially then, get to the page anyway. And you might ask yourself, what is that reluctance? What is that resistance to writing, to getting to the page, to beginning? Is it a fear of failure, a fear of not knowing what to write, a fear of beginning, which a lot of us have anxiety about beginnings? Is it laziness? Is it inertia? So what does that feeling like writing, actually have to do with writing? There are a lot of things I don't feel like doing during my day. I don't always feel like making these videos. I often feel I don't really have anything relevant to say, or I just don't have the energy. But there's something then I have to will myself, because this is perhaps a form of resistance, but I know that I love to do this. I want to do this. The same with writing. I love to write, but that sometimes I don't love to get to the page. But once I begin, the love takes over, the joy takes over. But this has also been a practice to cultivate that, accessing that joy, the enjoyment of creating something, of being in that, exploring the, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to sit and I'm going to attend to it. I'm going to not know what's happening right here on the page. So, and in making these videos, a lot of times I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that I need to do this and I want to do this. And I start with one idea, with one quote that I've heard, with anything. With one word sometimes, like the word habit, and I just see where it goes. And this is the practice. Again, this is the practice to cultivate this. At the same time, we're learning how to write a poem or a novel or a story or a sentence. But the habit of not writing, of not bringing your attention to or giving attention to your creativity, to your creative self, pulls you in the opposite direction of creation, of creativity, of writing. So persevere even if you don't feel like it, even when you don't feel inspired. How you feel about writing and about doing this has nothing to do with it. You can overcome that resistance to writing, that feeling of I don't want to, by showing up at the page and writing. An idea may come today and it may be gone tomorrow. It will be gone tomorrow. So don't waste the opportunity to work with what is moving through you. Cherish this. Cherish that opportunity to commune with the least thing that is in you and the greatest thing that is in you. So I've said many times in these videos, I am not making these videos to teach you how to write. I already know that you can write. I already know you are creative, because we are all creative, abundantly so, and we can all write. We all have stories in us. There is no one who doesn't have a story. So why I make these videos is to help you do what I think is the harder thing, maybe the hardest thing about writing, is to begin. These videos, I hope, can help you begin. There is so much power in the small, consistent steps we take. That is our practice. A practice is small steps, daily steps. And these small steps, little steps, we can make a great journey. That's a cliche, it's an adage, it's also very true. We take a journey, the longest journey, one step at a time. And our writing journey, creating the writing life that you want, is also made daily. It doesn't just appear all at once. It is one meaningful, conscious step a day. One word, one sentence, one paragraph, one page. You build a writing life. Inspiring yourself is hard. You don't always feel motivated. Motivating yourself toward your dream is met with a certain amount of resistance. I don't know why. Maybe not everybody feels that way. I certainly have felt it. The things that I really desire the most are sometimes the things that resistance up. That's normal, I think, for many of us. So the cure or the antidote is write anyway. Write no matter how you feel. Come to the page and write one word. Say one thing. Break your silence. Breaking your silence is forming a new habit, and your practice is going then to create momentum. And momentum becomes magnetism. You're going in that other direction of I'm not writing, I'm not paying attention to my creativity. The momentum of just coming and doing one word, one sentence, one paragraph, do it for 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, 12 weeks, you do build this momentum, which is a magnetism, and that magnetism pulls you back to the page day after day. You have movement, you have You're going in the direction of your creativity. You're going in the direction of your writing life. You're going in the direction of your dreams. You're going in the direction of your stories. You're living with them. You're constantly keeping them active and alive in you just by coming and writing every day. No matter what you write, it does not matter what you write, the quality of what you write, the quantity of what you write. None of those things matter. How you feel about it doesn't even matter. The practice is what matters. So first, overcome the inertia. It is powerful. When we're moving in one direction, it is changing directions, especially the opposite direction, is an act of will. So if you want to write, don't stay stuck not writing. Take one small step today, write, and another tomorrow, write, and another after that. That's how blocks turn into breakthroughs. So remember, the act of writing is going to reward you. Writing itself, the practice, is the reward. You will find this out. Trust me. Test it for yourself. Give it time. Show up and write for yourself every day for weeks. And then tell me if you are not rewarded. I know you will be. I promise you will be. My own experience and the experiences of millions of other writers throughout history could confirm that, will confirm that. Practice turns into momentum. Resistance loses its power. Taking one small step each day shifts you from not writing to writing. So don't let your ideas pass you by. Develop a writing habit and honor your creative self. And if you need some help with this, if you need help cultivating your daily writing practice, subscribe to this channel, watch other videos. Also, you can go to devotiontowriting.com. I have online workshops, in-person workshops. I offer these year-round. I also do writing retreats and writing residencies. This is a community to support you in your writing life, to help you not just cultivate your writing practice, but to sustain you creatively as a writer and help you awaken to the creative power that you have within. Abundance, abundance, abundance in you to create whatever you desire to create. So I thank you so much for watching. Hey, as a writing prompt today, you might answer those questions about what it feels like to not want to write. What is that resistance for you? Write about that. I think it might give you some inroads to what you confront when you want to get to the page and what stops you from getting to the page. And by doing that prompt, you'll be writing. So it'll get you kicked off today. I hope you write deeply today. As always, I know that if you do write, you will write beautifully, because beautiful is what you are. Blessings.